DJ Tina. You are tuned into HMTV Canada Easy. With me today is guest Sara Wendt.
In the heart of the city tonight, outside my window.
Hi Sara, welcome.
Hi. Thanks for having me, Tina.
You're welcome. Having heard your music and some of your song reminds me of the influences and a mix of Sarah McLachlan and the Cranberries in your sounds.
Well, thank you. That's a huge compliment. People have said that before, and I'm honored to be in the, included in that category.
I dig the East Indian and Celtic twist in King of Ghosts, which takes us on a journey of twists and turns of past experiences. Weightless with Love has a fantastic way of expressing you're not ready to speak of love, and I'm For You sounds like the perfect partnership with a treasured friend. And can you tell us the highlights of your recent album, Weightless with Love, the collection of the songs, their themes, and the favorites that stand out from this album?
Yeah, the themes, I could say, a lot of it is has a spiritual feel to it for me, because a lot of it is kind of like looking into sort of the deeper side of things, I guess you could say. Like the song, I'll Be Waiting, it's like, a guide or a type of a person who is like a teacher, and he's saying to me, I'll be waiting, and I might be waiting as a river, I might be looking like this, I might be looking like that, like basically I'm always with you, and you might not know it, but here I am. So it's, they have spiritual themes, and I have to say that from what I've heard, the favorites from the fans are Pretty Dark Night and King of the Ghosts, and I think maybe those are the favorites because they're a little bit more slow and I don't know, sweet, and I think people appreciate that, and I think I like to sing those kinds of slower songs, so I think, that comes across.
What motivates or inspires you to come up with timeless lyrics, and are they based on mysterious stories and relationships, past experiences, or just your intuition?
Well, all of my intuition comes from past experiences. I think it's kind of like a building experience where, everything that I've done and experienced kind of can culminate into something, and so I feel like my intuition comes from that, and, a lot of times the way I write a song is I just go on feeling. I think that's what you're trying to ask me, I just go on feeling, and I let the feeling, write the song in a way. So, but, sometimes I'll have a memory about something, and I'll think, I'd like to write about that, but that's always tricky. That's the trickier way to write songs for me, but yeah, I guess that, I do go on intuition.
Now, you said you had spiritual influences in your music. Where do they come from? Do they come from an inspiration of some sort?
Yeah, well, I'm a meditator. I'm a Buddhist meditator, and I teach classes in meditation, and just classes in how to live happily, or at least a little more sanely. And so a lot of I definitely have a lot of spiritual kind of background, and so the songs are a lot of the songs are about that, just following a path and trying to find my way, and learning about life and stuff like that.
Looks like we can learn from you.
Oh, well, I hope so. I hope I have something to say.
According to your lyrics, they're very deep, and we can learn from them.
Oh, good. Well, I'm glad.
Can you tell us a little bit about your current lineup of members and their art and contribution to Weightless with Love?
Yeah, so my main guitar player her name is Anne Klein, and she has her own, she writes her own songs as well. She's kind of an artist in her own right, and she's the main guitar player. And then the drummer that I've been using lately is a drummer that I used to be in another band with, a band with a bunch of women called Homer Erotic, and her name is Heather Ferguson, and she is just the most delightful person. If you ever see her performing on stage, she's just amazing, like huge smile and just so much energy, and great drummer. And then the bass player I've been playing with recently is Derek Smith, and he's also just beautiful player, really sweet. And let's see, yeah, so that's bass guitar and drums, and then occasionally I use a different guitar player, if, his name is Mark Nielsen, but the people who contributed most to Weightless with Love were Anne Klein, and then I used some various studio musicians on drums and bass, and I had a cello player come in and play on a couple of songs like I'm For You and Pretty Dark Night, and but Anne and her husband Tim Hatfield helped produce the record with me, and they're just amazing. They just had so many good ideas, and so I just always make sure I give them a tip. And I mean, if he wasn't a musician on the record, but Trevor Lloyd, I need to thank him. He's the head of City Canyons Records, and he's really responsible for me even making the record in the first place, because he encouraged me and helped me, and I couldn't have made the record without him. So. And he had some say on the sounds on the record, on some of the production. So, yeah, I'm really lucky to be a part of City Canyons Records.
Were there any challenges in producing this album?
Not really, no. I have to say there weren't. It was, we spread it out over a period of about a year, so that of course, you get kind of enthusiastic and you want to finish it, but it took a little longer than we thought. But no, it wasn't challenging in any other way.
I thought maybe the time factor would be the challenge, because you want to get it done and you just want to get it out there, and then the fans are saying, when are we going to come out with that album, and when can we buy it?
Yeah, there was a little bit of that, but
a little bit of pressure.
A problem. It wasn't a problem, because we wanted to do it right, so, yeah.
Who helped with the mixing, the recording, and the mastering of this album?
Well, it was really mostly Tim Hatfield, Anne Klein, and I. We did most of the, like overdubs and the mixing and the producing, and then the mastering was done, at a local mastering house here. I can't even remember, to tell you the truth, who it was, but I think it says it on the record. But but we mostly did all the mixing. I mean, Tim Hatfield really was responsible for most of the mixing.
Have you played any live performances or been touring to promote Weightless with Love?
Yeah, I mean, I've been playing out in New York City a lot, and then some various nearby venues like in Philadelphia and Baltimore and Connecticut and stuff. But we haven't really gone too far away from New York. We haven't gone on tour in terms of like across the country or anything. But we've been playing a lot. Yeah.
Has the turnout of fans and CD sales and merchandise sales been great?
Well, they've been okay. It's a small label, and we haven't been able to do too much publicity. But it's it's steady as she goes. It's not like I'm on a huge major label, but it's doing okay.
How does Weightless with Love differ from your previous album, Parachute?
Well, it's a lot more, I would say that, it's got some songs on it that are a little quieter, a little more mellow, and I feel like, the songs are, I have to say, I've grown as an artist, so I think the songs are better songs. But I love Parachute. It was my first, I made it on my own. It was recorded and produced by different people. But I feel like they're me. They're coming out of my heart. So I think Parachute's a little bit more rock and roll, and I think Weightless is a little more pop or maybe indie with some folk elements to it, some world music to it.
Do you find being a solo artist allows more freedom and creativity and flexibility of self-expression of lyrics and sound than being an icon playing in a band with its own defining style?
Oh yeah. Absolutely. It has its drawbacks, because I used to be in a band that had a definite style, and I wasn't the only writer, and even it was fun because we were all collaborating, and that was fun, but that has its challenges. So being on my own is also really fun, and I can express more, but it's a little bit lonelier.
What are your plans for the new year, and will you be trying new things in your next album?
Yes, I will definitely be trying new things, and my plan is to, I also write music for theater and for choruses, like just, like composing music, and I would love to do more of that. I'd love to see if I can get some of my music into a movie. And on the new record that I make, I'm hoping that I can do more of this kind of thing, more composing, more instrumental, and more kind of Middle Eastern sounding songs and world music.
So you want to get into like a little bit of film scoring when it comes to your music?
I really do, yeah. I'm sort of heading in that direction. Just because I've had the good fortune to have some friends hire me to do some music for some plays. So, for theater. So I've been loving that, and I'm hoping I can do more of that.
Are you planning on touring in 2009?
I plan on it, yeah.
Before we wrap up our interview, do you have any shout-outs?
Oh, well, I shout out to you and all your work, and I shout out to City Canyons and all of their support for their wonderful artists. And I shout out to Peter Ulrich, who I'm going to be writing some music. He's another artist on City Canyons. So, and also to Tamara, who is the VP of City Canyons. She's amazing and does a lot of work and is like our our cheerleader for City Canyons.
Can you plug in your main web address or your MySpace page?
Yep, my MySpace page is myspace.com/Sara J. Wendt, W-E-N-D-T. So Sara is S-A-R-A, and then J as in Jane, W-E-N-D-T.
I would like to thank City Canyon Records for allowing our e-zine to interview Sara Wendt Music. And Sara, thank you. You rock.
Thank you, Tina. You rock too.